Yeah, so the reason why I dragged Grubby over here was so that they could do the vetoes out of our big map pool, 11 maps in the pool, and now they're going to decide on what they're going to play on. MaDFroG yesterday said, I want to play with Grubby in the 2-2,
Yes.
so that at least I can win some game, you know?
He didn't lose the FFA. He wasn't the last one. He survived. Surviving skills are there.
True. So that was actually Grubby himself who did that. Was the one to take that place. Yeah, he sounds like he's very outmatched. Grubby is still playing regularly on his stream, as we all know. I don't know. Can he stand a chance here?
I mean, it's MaDFroG, man. He's the undead legend.
I've heard you tell this story so many years now. MaDFroG versus King Crimson. You probably
my favorite game of all time, man. Twisted Meadows, MaDFroG King Crimson. It's a one-of-a-kind game. I hope you were all aware of this. Otherwise, it's on our YouTube channel. I mean, he was here before at the Blizzard environment. It was the first... It wasn't BlizzCon, actually. It was the Worldwide Invitational. So way back in history when BlizzCon was not really BlizzCon. And he won that tournament without dropping a single map. It was absolute legendary performance by MaDFroG. So I hope we can see some... Like, if he gets us a round out, it would make me happy, for sure, to see the glimpse of his former glory.
Yeah. There was this crazy time when he was in Korea. He was there along with Insomnia, He-Man, and...
Yeah, the old, like, the entire SK Gaming team, basically,
and
was there.
Was the other one?
Dominator, I guess.
Dominator, yeah. And when he came back, it was just night and day between him and the rest of Europe, it seemed.
Yeah.
Just dominating everything. Grubby was a little bit later to the party as far as a rise to dominance goes. But actually, when we talked to MaDFroG earlier, I wasn't aware of this at all. He said there was certainly a rivalry going on between the two of them.
Yeah, it was very interesting. When MaDFroG came back from Korea, Grubby went to Korea. So the ascendants of Grubby collide with the descendants of MaDFroG. So they were still fighting for the top 3 in Europe there. And it was a fierce rivalry between them. And now they're going to face each other 15 years later. There we see him. King of Orcs, of course. Follow Grubby. You all know him from his ladder streams on weekend. Every Saturday, every Sunday, he's there for you guys, streaming on his channel. MaDFroG, we haven't seen him since 2010, I guess, when he was in a StarCraft tournament at Gamescom. That was, I think, the last stream appearance of MaDFroG. We're going to have him in a bit for a pre-game interview, I guess, to see what he's up to. There he is, wearing the black shirt for the Black Scourge.
I hope they didn't forget that we want a pre-game interview. Nobody from us is there right now to tell them.
It's quite fun to... Okay, I think we will just do a post-game interview, then we have heard a lot of Grubby before.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what they do here. Second semi-final, who's going to face Insomnia in the grand final later on? It's a lot of pride and honor here, of course. Everybody thinks that Grubby is the big favorite, but we have seen heroes fall in the history of Warcraft. I mean, just have to go back to some WCG finals, like Sky versus Creolopus, the legendary game on Twisted Meadows, when Creo just came back out of retirement and all of a sudden he was in the final and nobody really knew how that came out. And then he has a level 6 Demon Hunter and boom, he wins the biggest tournament. I mean, everything is possible in Warcraft, and that's the glory of this game. If you have a good start, if you get some momentum going for you and you get into the zone, then like sky's the limit.
That's absolutely true. Upsets can happen. Grubby, to be honest, we all know, is the big favorite. But speaking of favorites and of the anything is possible sentiment that you were giving here, Happy is considered the best European player by far at the moment. Again, 10 out of the last 11 Jera Cups, which were unfortunately the last ones, is absolutely ridiculous. But just today, Grubby defeated Happy on Echo Isles.
Is that so?
With a Farseer.
Catch that game.
With a Farseer first. So anything is absolutely possible. After that, I think, I don't remember who, someone wanted to ask Happy something. He was not feeling in the best mood to answer. And they had a regame, and I think he did manage to grab his arm.
Yeah, the anger of the Emperor striking back against Grubby. All right, gonna be interesting. I mean, Happy is facing Lin tomorrow. That's gonna be our main event on day 2. That's a match that everybody is looking forward to, man. Like, I got messages from China, like, send me the replays immediately after it's finished. We want to watch it, we want to stream it. Like, everybody is so hyped for this since we haven't seen Happy in an offline tournament since he came back. Like, since his StarCraft career, this is the first offline tournament for him. And this is something that every Warcraft player is looking forward to. But this is talks for tomorrow. This is the return of MaDFroG. This is the return of Grubby to one-on-one competition. We have seen him in Nostalgia Battlefield and some other competition there for fun. But now, never in one-on-one competition. He was like in teams the entire time. Oh, actually we had show matches against Sky and Moon as well. But alright, we're on map number 1. This is Grubby's base here in the upper left. And in case you don't know, there's a little trick on this very position. But I don't think that he's going to go for it. You can pull the rock golem from the laboratory camp and creep it there with and block him in with the Blade Master and Grunt. I'm pretty sure Grubby is aware of this. So is this a sign for a Farseer first?
I would assume so. I mean, he can still do it with the shop over there. But the Farseer has received so many buffs this patch and has seen so much play out of all players here at this Invitational so far, so that I am suspecting it's gonna be...
Ooh, okay.
I was getting excited for the Farseer, man. Twisted Meadows, also a pretty good map for it. Something that actually we mentioned earlier. The creeping with that buff, unfortunately, got a little bit more difficult in the middle because your wolves get purged, but yeah, no wolves this time. Tried and true Blade Master.
Yeah, and pretty interesting, we saw MaDFroG's base. There is a Fiend build order, so he was legendary, of course, for his Ghouls and Gargs. Gargs don't really work, as we saw in the FFA against Orc, because Bat Riders, boom, there they go. And yeah, I think Ghouls very micro-intensive, especially if you're coming back from like a big break like MaDFroG had. Very hard to control. Also, the aspect ratio now, since it's a little more zoomed out, it's quite hard to micro the Ghouls, so it's understandable that he goes for the safe route, the normal route, the meta route. Which, oh, there's a shop. Actually, he could block the golem in there.
It's a little too far to the left, I think.
Also,
but
it's not...
if you do it perfectly, it should... Is he gonna do it?
Looks like it, right? The movement? Yeah. All right. He's pulling the golem with the Grunt. He's going into Windwalk with the Blade Master and then trap him there. Lin invented this. He's on the event here. As you can see, Blade Master is in Windwalk. Units can walk through it, but he has to react now and trap him. Oh, that was really close.
That was really close.
But Grubby style points here makes it work. Very easy to pull off now. The shop is finishing in time. The burrow helps, so he has to take care that the burrow doesn't get the deny. He unloads the burrow, gets the experience and a Sobby mask. So much mana to work with now. And that's going to be a lot of Windwalks as well.
Not quite lucky enough for the Tome of Experience, but still big boost. And for so much experience and such a big item, and you really don't even have to invest the heal salve yet. The DK here is pretty damn late for MaDFroG, but he's gonna start creeping up himself. The meta nowadays would be fast DK build into later Fiends, but yeah, he's taking it a little bit more slowly.
Yeah, just to get a little bit of security, to feel welcome on Twisted Meadows. Of course, he should know this map by now. MaDFroG, as we said before, one of the first Europeans to go to Korea, and he stayed the longest of all of them. Like Insomnia dominated, they got back really quickly because of like homesickness and stuff. He-Man stayed a little longer together with MaDFroG, but he felt, I think, very, very comfortable in that environment there, in this pro gaming environment. And when he got back to Sweden, man, that was the end of his glory, basically, because like the training conditions weren't that great anymore. Grubby with a very unusual creep here, going for the natural expansion. That's something we don't see very often.
It's absolutely true, and the reason is that's risky. If he gets creep jacked here, man, 2 grunts are definitely gonna die.
And they're so hurt. The Blade Master as well. That's a lot of investment on healing selves already. So Grubby has to buy some new ones. We have a Talisman of Evasion, which is not the greatest item. Against Fiends, I think it's okay. But if MaDFroG sees him there now, everything will die.
But that gamble pays off. The Frog is still pretty far away. He's level 2 now. Maybe able to steal his opponent's nulls. Or is he actually going into the Orc base? That's something we saw in the past from It's trying to go for tier 2 cancellations, trying to go for burrows. Not really the case anymore. But no, he's gonna make a pit stop at the creep camp.
Yeah, today we talked to him at the breakfast, and he's like, aggression is everything.
Yeah.
Aggression is key to victory. So he positions himself closer to Grubby's base, and maybe expected a creep check here. Grubby is coming in. The heal selves did a great job. Level 2 Blade Master, so it's not level 2 Windwalk yet, but this is a coil, and he gets it. The item goes towards the Blade Master. It's the Gloves of Haste, who is pretty good now, but the big experience and the way towards level 3 went towards MaDFroG. Speed scroll used now by Grubby, and he gets a few kills or hits done there. Would love to see a coil. Yep, Grubby not really getting this around. MaDFroG microing the Fiend away, and with the help of Unholy Aura, he gets out there without a single kill on his units.
That was really close though. He almost had the surround against the trees, but not quite able to. DK though, totally out of mana
Players' forces are under attack.
from the looks of it, so being aggressive now is going to be very hard for him. Grunts keep on creeping. Blade Master almost level 3. This is usually a map where the Blade Master will try to prioritize getting the claws in the middle quickly, but he had an unconventional creep route.
Not so much anymore with the patch, I guess. So the focus should be on the laboratories for Boots of Quel'Thalas, Vamp Aura, Sobi Mask, Robe of the Magi. But yeah, that last hit with a coil against Null Overseer was actually really big because the Blade Master is not level 3, but now more hits. He has a lot more mana to work with. DK is empty now, so no more coil. MaDFroG microing the Fiend back. It should work out if he can save it there. But I guess there's no Ice Tower in the base for him. So the Blade Master can basically do whatever he wants. Oh no, the tier 2 is finished, so the Blade Master is slow, trying to body block and forces a Windwalk out of him. But Grubby with a tier 2 expansion, absolutely non-meta.
Yeah, that's very unusual. And for that reason, pretty unlikely to get scouted. And if it goes through and has enough time to pay off, that is normally the win condition. Blade Master looking towards the Acolytes here, perhaps. The tech is happening. If you can kill some Acolytes, that would be a massive pick-off.
Ooh, that's very good timing here, getting the Slaughterhouse. Super annoying. And if he didn't cancel, he did cancel it. I was a little worried about it, but otherwise he could, he was forced to stay without his Slaughterhouse there. No stat uses, no regen. It's basically no win.
And then the first Fiend was lost. DK had no more mana. Blade Master easily gets it with a level 2 Windwalk. Lich is really late. I don't know if he was supply blocked or something, but that is not the way it's supposed to be. He will be coming out here in a moment. And finally, Frost Armor will be available to the Undead.
Frost Armor will be the savior for a little bit, but Grubby...
Does he get it again?
No, the damage is not high enough, I guess. But this creep jack, if MaDFroG starts this now, I mean, this could be horrible if he gets the Rock Golem. Okay, he decides to go for the Slaughterhouse again. There's, of course, no repair for the Undead once he's summoning their buildings. And delaying the statue is such a big thing. He's trying to defend with the ghouls, so good multitasking by Frog. But in the end, it's just not enough. The Blade Master's still too strong, as it seems.
Yeah, he doesn't have the greatest damage-enhancing items, but it's still good enough to take out the Slaughterhouse in the end. Just gonna take a while. He's gonna get it, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the damage rolls, I guess, but no, it's enough.
Well, now he's super low on Lumber, and I guess this time he didn't cancel it. So it was a kill on Grubby's side against this. Belt of Giant Strength 4, MaDFroG here got a level 3 DK. But this Slaughterhouse, it's gonna be like a 9-minute Slaughterhouse.
He did cancel it, but it took so much damage that he got very
of course.
very few resources back from it. But the SH man, he gets so much creeping done, getting almost to level 3 already here with the solo creep, greater healing and the mantle, both really nice items from him. And the Blade Master still being a pest. Oh, but he's dropping low! And he gets that kill.
Oh, and Grubby gets away with the Invul Potion. 175 gold, absolutely worth it. There's no Windwalk, but no blocks anymore. 7-second Invul is not enough. There's no Nova on the Lich to nuke him. I was just about to say, like, if he can level up the Lich a bit, then he unlocks Coil Nova. And we all know Undeads and Coil Nova, that's a friendship that goes on forever. Especially against squishy Blade Masters, but Talisman of Evasion plus a ring, he's quite tanky, and in the meantime, Grubby's expansion is running and running and running and running. 48 supply already, and very early Kodo for the damage boost.
And the Frog seems to be in no position to apply any pressure. He's
He's
lucky, honestly, that he's not being creepjacked right now. A Lich with no items to survive, really, no statue there. That could be the game right here if Grubby had decided to go for a creepjack, but no, he's just creeping. There's no pressure on him to finish this game. Time is in his favor.
But the Lich has the Orb of Corruption now, makes it a lot easier to fight the Orc army with a -5 armor and Fiend shots, and yeah, well, in some minutes we're gonna have Destroyers as well to enhance the focus. But until then, yeah, we haven't seen a TC against the Fiends. DK is coming back. So third hero for Grubby is a little late. Fiends are hurt. Now you see the absence of the statues. Like the Fiends are so low.
Lich is going to get level 3 though. DK is level 3. That is what the Undead needs here in the late game. Grubby staying on tier 2. Nowadays we would see tier 3 certainly. But yeah, back in the day, that was not the case.
That is of course a good reason why there's no TC. Didn't check it before. MaDFroG continues to creep, and we haven't seen of the before mentioned aggression, but of course at the moment he's in no position to be the aggressor. Grubby a little unlucky with his Blade Master items there, lots of rings, not too many damage boosting items. And there finally is the statue after 10 minutes.
But the Orc army is moving towards the Undead base as we see. How quick can he react? Is there maybe a zapper somewhere? Nope. There is not, but there's lots of beefy melee units with lots of damage against these buildings.
Oh, and the blaze is not blocked, so the Blade Master has free reign over the Acolytes. MaDFroG not responding at the moment. The DK was not there for a town portal, I guess, and so the army has to walk back. It's 70 supply for Grubby, and MaDFroG was supply stuck for quite a while. He forgot about the Ziggurat, or it got cancelled. I think he forgot about it just. And so he's floating in 600 gold, and there's a big army with the Raiders and the Kodo and range against the upcoming heir.
Does Grubby want to take this fight? He doesn't have to.
Never fight in an undead base, they say.
And he wisely retreats. Yeah. 30 supply advantage though. A web here may change his opinion on this. He's moving forward. The Kodo Beast is going to snack up that one Fiend, and we don't have many Fiends to speak of. Only 4 left. Scratch that. Only 3 left. And with the next End Snare and next Ensnare, more and more of these Fiends will be falling. Heal Stroll coming in as well. MaDFroG, he's being outnumbered. It's the GG and the 1-0 for Grubby.
The Twisted Meadows was the Orcs map to take with an expansion. The early game went quite good for MaDFroG, I think. Like there was pressure from Grubby, but absolute key here was the cancellation of the Slaughterhouse. That killed every single timing for Frog. And Grubby, he is the big favorite. He underlined that status. And so far, he's just one map away from the grand final against Insomnia.
The top undeads nowadays make great use of their skeletons for scouting. MaDFroG, we didn't see that so much. That should have been done ideally to cancel that expo when it was coming up. But of course, MaDFroG, he was on such a long hiatus, isn't even the word. His retirement has been quite a lot of years in the past now. But he's doing his best. We all knew it was going to be a hard match. Grubby convincingly took that first game. Now it's MaDFroG's map choice. I wonder what that is. In the past, what are really good undead maps against Orc? Not too
hard. No, not too many,
not
to
too
be
many,
honest.
Yeah.
Of course, the map pool got shaken up a little. Turtle Rock, you could play that. I mean, it's also good for Orc, but I think it comes down to where he feels comfortable the most and where he knows where to go and what to do and what to find. So I think Turtle Rock, it's basically a 50-50 map in this matchup. Slightly favored to Orc, maybe, but that's on the absolute top level. When it goes to like longer games, then it's really taken into account. Like he gets so many more items there, boosts the Blade Master damage up. But maybe it's Farseer time now.
Yeah. And when we say Turtle Rock perhaps favoring Orc a little bit, that's the today meta. That's the tier 3 meta. That's the triple hero meta. And we saw tier 2 only. And it's not like you're going to have a level 3 TC with that, obviously. And good call by you. It is, in fact, going to be Turtle Rocks. Our next map. I can see it over there on MaDFroG's screen. That's how I know. So, Farseer this time, or is it going to be the Blade again? If you guys are familiar with Mr. Grubster's channel, he does have actually emotes from Samuro, the Blade Master from Heroes of the Storm. So we all know he has a very intimate relationship with the Master of Blades. But Farseer has been buffed. Maybe try him out.
We'll see. Close position is absolutely possible. Here's the Blizzard map pool. We see the double Grubby. Okay, there we go with MaDFroG and Grubster. One map to the grand final, or will the Frog strike back? That's the question here. Coming from Sweden, of course, Frederick Johansson. One of the oldest players here, actually, MaDFroG is. I think just Taker is older than him. Settled down. Got
Real life, real job.
Real life, real job, indeed. So, map number 2, it is not close position, and that favors MaDFroG, I guess, and it's going to be less aggression there. He is starting in the bottom left on Turtle Rock, and I guess, yeah, there's no graveyard yet, so maybe it's ghouls this time, and especially with the Dreadlord, there could be sleeps around, since the Dreadlord got heavily buffed. Sleep, like perma-sleep, is possible now. Carrion Swarm can affect mechanical human, which is, okay, basically a thing against human, but it's the DK again. But it is, as it seems, time for ghouls, and it is the Farseer.
Nice.
So he's definitely slower than the Blade Master, because he has no Windwalk, obviously. So grunts around is a thing. MaDFroG scouting for the close position, sees, alright, I got a little bit of time here, and Turtle Rock is a pretty good map for ghouls, as there is a lot of medium armor creeps there to take, and the normal damage of ghouls works pretty well against them.
May still be the late Fiend build, though. It is open to him, depending on...
there it is. Oh, unfortunately.
There's
Okay.
the graveyard, okay, so... We seem to be moving into Fiends after all. Farseer will oftentimes be played against Undead on level 2 aggressively with Speed Scroll, Wolves, Chain Lightning into the Acolytes when the Undead is in tech. That is very expensive if you lose those during tech, as of course you can't replace them, since Ghouls cannot harvest, mine any gold. And he's starting to creep with them as well. Gonna get a fast level 2, possibly. And here's a scout, good scout by the Acolyte. He may give his life for this, but he has the info now. And now he knows, alright, I will need an arrow power.
Yeah, and that saves him dust as well. Doesn't have to invest into that because he's not facing a Blade Master. Ghouls are creeping here, so he starts off with a few ghouls, then sends them back to heal up. So that's no damage on the DK. As we all know, the Undeads have no real healing option on tier 1 except stand on the Blight. So yeah, I like that play so far. Crypt is, the Graveyard is a little late, so Fiends will come out later, but that should be an early attack. But since he pulled the ghouls and keeps them at their army, there's no lumber income from MaDFroG.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem here for his economy. Did he not make a third one? Oh, don't lose him though.
Oh, pulls the aggro right on time. But now, yeah, he needs more skeletons to finish this creep, and Grubby, experienced as he is, goes from one little turtle spot to the other. Got 2 of them. A little bit boost for damage and HP as well. Here come the Fiends. And yeah, there's no third one, right?
Nope, he's still stuck on tier on 2 ghouls. That means he's gonna be stuck on tier 1 for a very long time. So here we can see that he is not so familiar with the build orders nowadays anymore, of course, with having been out of the scene for such a long time. So the Wolves scout this, and no great surprise, pretty much the standard creep route coming out of the Undead. He's still continuing up to creep, Grubby is. He has the Chain Lightning already available. No scroll of speed here. Did he skip the shot, perhaps? Of course, that's the great upside of the Farseer. You don't have to go for heal self so early.
Yeah, that's true. He skipped the shop and he tagged before, so quite a fast tag by Grubby here. And of course, as we see on the lumber intake, it's 22, going for more Fiends. And now he catches the Farseer, super duper squishy, that there's always a chance for MaDFroG to nuke this guy and force him into a town portal or kill him later. Grubby has to be really careful about this here. If he survives until tier 2, he's safe, because most likely the Shadow Hunter will be the follow-up with Heal Wave. But until then, he's living a dangerous life.
So, what can the Wolves do here in the main? With the Narrow Tower, the answer is not too much. Scouting now as well coming in from the Skeleton, and Grubby must be like, dude, you're on tier 1. What's going on here? And there's, of course, thanks to the ghouls. Oh, the Acolyte here has to be microed. Wolves, though, pretty damn fast, and with that new buff, no longer so easy to kill. They have 250 HP right at level 1.
Exactly, and the Narrow Tower is super late. He's taught it before, like, I don't need a Narrow Tower, man. Aggression is the key, but it seems like could have needed that a little earlier. 2 Acolytes dead. He does have good gold, but he can't tech without those 2 Acolytes, and now his DK is getting caught. Of course, no Blade Master damage, no End Snare yet. But Grubby already towering over him, 10 supply advantage. And close to level 3 Farseer, and then the Wolves have Critical Strike and get even stronger.
That's something we've been wondering. Does the Critical Strike affect the Wolves? We haven't asked the developers yet, so if the Wolves get bonus damage from an aura, let's say, is it not affected from the Critical Strike?
That's true.
Doesn't make a big difference, of course. Just some theory crafting here on our side. And he is almost level 3. Again, going pretty heavy into the grunts, more old school that Grubby's playing here with a 2-burrow tech, whereas nowadays everything It's pretty much one burrow that we see in the meta at the highest level in the tournaments we cast from across the world, mostly from China. GCS, the big one that stands out. By the way, Foggy, who is here with us, is the vice champion of that. Vice world champion, you could say. And he has been looking pretty good in the practice games. Now finally the DK gets some good creeping done. He is going to be level 3, but that doesn't help with his tech problem.
Yeah, draws out the creeps, so once they walk back, they don't do damage anymore, since it's their priority to get back home and not fighting the battle. More rules for the Lumber, still very, very low on that. 2 rings of regeneration, man. The Lumber, the HP regen is absolutely insane on the DK now. Will help him, but Grubby going onto the back of the turtle. There's 4 consumables to be found, and especially mana potions are insane for the Shadow Hunter. He got some new items from the shop. And yeah, pretty comfortable game for Grubby so far. No creep jacks, no steals, no nothing. That's what the Shadow that's what the Farseer wants. Like now and then attack a little, but apart from that, it's super fine if he is left alone. Potion of Greater Healing, never wrong against an undead player. We of course do not see a second hero yet. I wonder if he teched by now, but no, it's just a creep battle in the middle, and he's slot starved, so he can't really pick up Potion of Greater Mana, and he should do that real quick because the Farseer is coming. Oh yeah, there we go. So a lot of calls to use now. Fiend dies Chain Lightning.
Oh, and with the Hex here that's coming in, he is on the chase, but actually SH stays behind. Can he reach again for the next Hex? Could he? I think we... No, he hexed the DK actually,
So
but now he's in range again for these Fiends.
But the Fiends are in range of basically everything. Grubby should have End Snare soon, but MaDFroG just focusing on the Farseer. Didn't check for the item, I think, because there was a big healing one that saves him. And the next Hex gets the next Fiend. Good engagement by Grubby again.
So, is it now time to change the flow of this battle? He still has the Greater Mana. He's going to use it. He wants to get this hero kill. He doesn't quite get it, though. That was really close. Looking for it again. He's so fast with these boots. He's blocking him. He's trying to. There's no Hex available at the moment.
He needs an Invul potion as it seems. Is Frostmourne strong enough? Can he kill him or force the town portal? No, the Invul. And now he's in danger. Is there another Hex? Seems like it. Okay, but now End Snare is there, and that's the disable against the DK. He still has a TP. Good evasion there. Dodges the surround, and so continues to live.
Player's forces are
long range coil. Is that the kill? Oh my god!
He needs one more Fiend shot, and then it would be a hero kill for him, or 2 more.
He has a TP, of course. Is he fast enough with a town portal trigger?
There's another one, and Grubby waiting for it, baiting the coil. So MaDFroG loses a bit of mana, and that's about it. So MaDFroG is on tier 2 now. I wonder if his statues are coming out faster now.
Badly. Yeah. And he needs more heroes. You can't fight this with only a DK. It's just not possible. This game is looking rough for him again.
But as I said, hero focus always an option. Oh, MaDFroG again stuck on supply.
There is the TC.
Oh yeah, 3rd hero for Grubby now. 50 supply for him.
Nice. So Blade Master not being touched at all this game.
DK can actually tank a little here with all the regen that he has. Still the statues are so late. We're again 9 minutes 30 into the game, and Grubby uses that time. Orc triple hero can be pretty damn great. I mean, I'm pretty sure he goes for Stomp, as it got buffed in this patch as well, and the stun duration is so good against Fiends. You can follow it up with the Chain Lightning. So the area of effect of Grubby's army will be pretty good.
He's taking the red camp away from his opponent. The Lion Horn, probably the weakest drop. Pretty sure the weakest drop from this camp, but still very good experience here. Finally is the Lich. Man, that took a long time. Only level 1, however.
And no orb yet, right? Yeah, still no orb yet. I wonder if he's on the way. Yeah, he's on the way to tier 3, halfway through, and then we're going to see destroyers, and then we're going to see the orb, and that is where Undead usually shines. Second Beastery by Grubby, as well as the defense upgrade. Pretty rare. Well, actually nowadays meta it gets better. Like orcs do use their upgrades now. Yeah, second red spot, and it's the Warsong Battle Drums. If you're not that familiar with the game, you might think, okay, what? He does have the Kodos. Why would he need a Warsong Battle Drums? Well, it's a different aura, so they stack.
Exactly. There's the Code Aura and the Command Aura. Despite the fact that the Code Aura is called the Command Aura, it's a little bit confusing, but believe us, it works. And if he gets the upgraded Code Aura, that's 30% bonus damage on everything, which is a lot. He may not have a Blade Master, but he has units and heroes aside from that that can deal damage. Still, finally the first red camp being taken by the Undead here. Without the orb, this is gonna take a while. But Grubby, man, he's taking his time. Seems like he's confident to just keep on creeping here.
No expansion yet from him. We haven't. We have seen it quite early in game 1 on Twisted Meadows, but he's just enjoying his time here on Turtle Rock, and MaDFroG getting this red spot done. First one for him. Brilliance Aura, of course, would be the dream.
Players' forces are under attack.
But yeah, as you said, it's gonna take some time. The number of fiends is getting higher though. At 40 supply, he is now.
Alright, maybe a Brilliance Aura here. Tome of Experience, that's a good one.
Second one, he got one at the shop before, so Lich level is quite good. Legion Doomhorn, of course, one item for the shop as he has the Unholy Aura already.
But level 3 TC, boom, gets it here. Boots of speed for him. Now he is extremely fast. And so many auras, you can see it there, down there in the status bar. 4 auras for the Orc.
MaDFroG floating in 1,300 gold, still supply stuck at 40, and Grubby at 57 already.
And he's very close here to his opponent, which he just scouted. Destroyer form upgrade is coming in, still gonna take a little while. Grubby does not want to go for the engagement yet, however. Chain Lightning here to greet the Undead. He eats the Coil, he eats the Nova, the Invul is on him. He doesn't have to TP out of this yet, but he will, to keep everything else safe.
Gets the double level up, and that is it level 5 for the Farseer? Yeah, right. TC level 3. Okay, level 4. The Chain Lightning just got a lot better.
Yep. Another spell that got buffed.
And Wyvern coming for Grubby. Should have Envenomed Spear soon. So even more damage in this Orc army, and I wonder on MaDFroG's side. I mean, he can explode into a lot of supply once he gets the Ziggurats done.
But he's still only on 2 heroes. If you haven't paid too close attention to Warcraft competitive scene lately, it is absolute necessity to go triple heroes if you're Undead against Orc in nowadays meta. And look at this, there it is, the 3rd hero, the Dreadlord.
Style points for MaDFroG. How many sleep surrounds did he do in his life? We can't count that high, at least I can. So maybe that's the thing, like, he can focus a hero, then sleep the hero who has the town portal, prevent him from TPing out immediately, and his Coil Nova, thanks to the 2 Tome of Experiences, is actually pretty strong.
And a good position will help, even if you are far down in supply. If he retreats a little bit here, MaDFroG, you'll be able to force the Orc into a turtle back. But here comes the Stomp with the Hex. This could be the hero kill. Perfectly timed Hex with the Chain Lightning. Is the damage high enough to get the hero kill? It is. The DK falls, the TP is gone. The Epicenter Stomp again hits everything. And that was a creep jack he wasn't ready for. GG. MaDFroG defeated. Grubby takes the 2-0. Moves on into the final, where Insomnia is waiting.
What a surgical strike by Grubby there, man. The stun, the Chain Lightning, the Focus Fire, everything worked there in this position. So our grand final stands, and it is Grubby versus Insomnia. As I mentioned yesterday, there is a legendary game on, like, played in patch 1.14 between them, between Grubby and Insomnia, with a legendary Keldor cast for all the Germans out there. So looking forward to that final a lot. But yeah, we have our 2 warriors here. Grubby feels very comfortable on this couch, I think. He's been there more often than I am so far. But yeah, first time. Welcome, MaDFroG.
Thank you.
So, in 2003, you were here, or I don't actually know it was here, but it was the Worldwide Invitational, and you won that thing without a map. It was like the most impressive performance that I've seen from an Undead. Great to have you here, and great that you're still enjoying it. How does it feel to play like the new patch?
It's been so long, so I feel I have nothing to compare it to. It's like, yeah.
Right. Yeah, we saw a few mistakes. Like the Ziggurats weren't really your friend
so
today.
So many mistakes. It's like, yeah, I don't know any builds or anything anymore. So it's like.
But you still gave it your best shot. You
yeah.
know? And with having been absent from the game for so long, it's understandable. But you know you're going to be rusty, obviously. But something from the past history, you told me something very interesting this morning, which I didn't know. That actually there was quite a rivalry going on between you two. That for one reason or another, you basically never even talked to each other.
No, pretty much.
It's funny. I mean, now we do, so it's nice to talk to Frog. Back then, it was a mixture of respect and rivalry. But I think I was pretty poor in general at separating competitive rivalry from being able to hang out outside the game. For me, it was very black and white when I was younger.
Yeah.
So you're either an utter enemy in the game and outside, or yeah. So it's like that. I think it was because of me.
I don't know. I think it was both. It's like, yeah.
You see
We
it.
were so young, so.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in some professional sports too. It's like it can be difficult because you don't want to give someone anything.
Yeah.
You don't want to give them any hint or sight into how your brain works, so that when you meet in competition, you are more mysterious and maybe fearsome.
That's interesting because, of course, you were playing in clans as well. You for Four Kings, you for SK and friends. So how was it when you faced your teammates in tournaments? Was it the same? Like you don't talk to them for that one day, or was it still a friendship there?
No, it was a friendship. It was just then it was just a game. It's like, yeah.
The rivalry that we felt, I think, and it must be in some way from both sides. It's not traditional among every player. But the reason is, I think, I was rising to a greater and greater, I guess, skill and fame. MaDFroG was already famous. He had already won a big tournament, and I wanted to be up there. So in the end, envious of the accomplishment and eager to outdo it. That's very natural in those, in those games like that. So it's rivalry, and you feel it on a very intense level because, unlike now, during that time, it consumes everything in a good way. Like, you're very passionate about the game. We both were. I think MaDFroG was a very talented player and very hardworking. So, he went to Korea before I did. Then him and his teammates going to Korea gave me and us the idea. So we tread in those footsteps because we wanted to get there as well, world-class level, not just in your own region or country, but on the international level. And he did that first. Second ESWC, first WWI. So it's something you look up to.
Yeah, it's interesting. You went with SK to Korea as the first Europeans, and many of your teammates left after like 3 months. I think Insomnia left, and you were there with He-Man for quite some time. But you stayed the longest. Like, what was driving you? Why were you the one staying?
I just wanted to win something big, and yeah, when I played WWI, it was in Korea, and after that, I was pretty much finished.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, okay, I done it.
Did that satisfy your competitive drive? You wanted this one big victory, and you didn't feel the need to replicate it after?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like when you have a dream your whole life and you go after it, and then when you achieve it, you just get empty. So I couldn't play after that with the same drive. So yeah.
So everyone is different, right? Every competitor, and almost everyone after winning a tournament, there is a kind of absence of something suddenly, a kind of, the pressure and the dream and to want to have what you don't have. Momentarily that disappears. Sometimes that feeling, let's say, will regenerate after a day. For other people after a week, and for other people they feel like they're just done. And in the end, every human is like very different, right? Usually for a week I couldn't do anything. Like, I would get back after a tournament and you'd just be empty because you gave so much of yourself. So you couldn't even play very well, even though you just played world-class level. It's very strange and difficult to describe.
What was your way to getting that motivation back? Because of course you won WCG, and then that must have felt kind of the same, that this task is done, and then how to continue from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question, because in the end it comes from a very emotional place inside yourself, and even as you try to understand it, and we get kind of philosophical there, you may not actually understand it. You may think it, you're just rationalizing it. In some way, there's the eagerness to prove yourself. And sometimes after one tournament, people just don't get the message yet. You want to shout to the world, I'm the best. And one tournament on that day, you prove it. But after that day, everyone is a challenger again. And so it really depends whether you would want to prove that again. To prove, okay, this wasn't a fluke. And the reasons why you do it. And, of course, what else you want to do in life.
Good question, MaDFroG. You invested so much time into gaming. What are you doing now in your life? What do you enjoy outside of gaming?
I got a 1.5-year-old son, and he takes like all the time. So it's him, and I work, and yeah, I'm with my family. I have a girlfriend, and she has a daughter. So yeah, I hang out with them.
Sounds good.
Mostly. Yeah.
All right, I think that's it for the second semi-final. Grubby and MaDFroG, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Grubby
Thank you.
and Insomnia will face each other in the final. Before that, we have a 4-on-4 coming. Team Korea versus Team Europe. Lin, Remind, Focus and Law Liot versus Happy, Foggy, Hawk and Affect. So this is going to be good, man. Lots of action again. I hope to see you guys there. Gonna do okay. Yeah, the players are setting up, I guess, and we will continue here with Blizzard's Warcraft Invitational. More than 20,000 viewers, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we have had one big... I'm sorry.
What was the next match going to be?
The
The
4-on-4.
4v4.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Who's playing it?
Korea versus Europe.
All right. And it's 4v4 or 4 times 1-on-1?
4v4.
Okay. So,
The clan war is tomorrow.
That's why all the seat arranging was being done, because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
want to
yeah.
have, you know, the two teams opposite each other.
so what do you guys think? Who's going to win the 4-on-4?
There is no precedent for this. So, well, that's not entirely true. There was a 4v4 tournament
Yes.
not too long ago at all.
Yeah, it's interesting because Hawk, Foggy and Happy played together in a 4-on-4 tournament. It was not Affect, it was Cash as a fourth player. So they should have good strategies and timings and a good understanding of what they have to do in that. The Koreans, they were kind of separate. They had two teams in this tournament. So
You know,
But-
it's funny because I feel like whoever is watching now, there are many people that used to play Warcraft 3 that are coming back to see what all the hype is about.
Yeah.
And 4v4 might just be the matchup where there can be the most kind of valid backseat gaming. Because a lot of people, they have thousands of games of 4v4 under their belt.
Yeah.
1-on-1 may seem a little murky or difficult for them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to 4v4, just ask anyone and they'll have some kind of crazy strategy for Shadowhunter Rush or Mass Chimeras or anything.
Yeah, and Chimeras and Torrents, units we never see
Hey, how
anywhere.
about everything?
Maybe coming into play here, Mountain Giants we see in 4v4. So, you know, those crazy theory craft
Is that common?
ideas.
Mountain Giants?
I don't know if it's common,
Not
but it's
too much,
seen.
but we see a lot of ultimates in 4-on-4 because like there's so many units and you get so much experience and some player get fat and is creeping all the time. And then all you need is like one battle to get from level 5 to 6, and that can change everything. Like I started to love 4-on-4 actually during that tournament, so it's pretty great.
The new competitive format of Warcraft 3.
It's
4v4.
And who knows, at someday at 12v12, which would be possible nowadays with
It's
24 players.
It's insane that that's actually possible. And it plays without any lag. Like, I played a 24 player and they were like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's just engineer that to be possible. The possibilities for custom maps is going to be insane as well. The map editor, of course, from Warcraft 3 is the breeding ground of many gaming genres as we know it now.
Yeah.
The MOBA genre, tower defense, you know, it all comes from Warcraft 3. So now there's even more.
And I imagine, same as me, many of your viewers got into competitive Warcraft that way. I had a friend in school who had Warcraft on his computer, and I was over at his place one day, and he showed me Footman Frenzy, and I was hooked from that day on. There was this big guy who looked like a mountain. Turned out it was the mountain giant. He was very slow to move, but he could blink, and he could one-hit the enemy hero.
That sounds balanced.
And kill him right away. And everything was, of course, horribly imbalanced, but it was so much fun. And it's those games were pretty easy to get into. The actual Warcraft 3 melee ladder experience was pretty daunting. Like,
yeah, it's a bit more intimidating, confrontational one-on-one.
yeah,
But
you need a while to get over the ladder anxiety, but once you're in there, it's the true beauty of the game. But so many, so many levels of enjoyment, so many facets.
you never got to play Dota, MaDFroG?
Yeah, I did. I played with Team Q. Team Q.
Q.
I had a Q in my name.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
where the Q comes from.
Yeah, it was when we had no team. We all put Qs in our name, so I played with them.
Was there any inkling back then that Dota was going to become quite a relevant genre?
Not that much, actually. It wasn't that many teams.
Who was in Q, like Doa Q? Or was that a random Q in the nickname? Not Doa Q. Because he's from Sweden too.
No, it was like Jesse. Jesse is the most famous one, I think.
The one who's playing today as well?
Is he playing Dota?
You would
I
know
don't know.
maybe.
I have no idea about the gaming scene. But there was old StarCraft 1 players, and yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if people know who they are.
Yeah, 4v4 will be our next match. It's going to take a little while, though. Players are still
Discussing strategies.
one by one. And we just saw some people walking past. I think Neo's going to have to talk to someone, but gives us more time to talk as well. So you say your time is mostly consumed by your family, which only makes sense.
Yeah.
Does this patch, give you some... yeah, does it at least give you the feeling of wanting to play again?
It's like even if I wanted to, I don't have the time, and I'm like that. If I don't have the time, then I just can't play a little. It's either
you would have
on
to
or off.
commit hard
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, because I get so frustrated when I lose, so I want to play again and again and again and again. Then
Right, better don't start it then if you don't, if you don't have too much time. But for anyone who does want to start, excuse me, anyone can join the PDR. You can. How do you find the download the easiest? Reddit.com/r/WC3. We have a big thread there where you can get all of the info. Anyone can join the PTR, the public test realm. Try out the new patch. See how the heroes feel. The feeling, I think, is massively different, especially with the movement speed change. Dreadlord, Cryptlord, Farseer. Lots of
stuff to
buffs
test.
around across the board.
And I
Aside
think
from the Blade Master.
just the fact that there's widescreen and a better latency than there used to be, the fact that there's a place again for everyone to play and install it and don't have any issues, fantastic.
The best time to download it is now, because we have a 5-minute break. We're going to be right back with the 4-on-4, but we need to get some drinks and some rest. So 5 minutes, and then we're back with the final episodes of today. The 4-on-4, and of course Grubby versus Insomnia, the big final of the Legends tournament. There is a legendary game on Plunder Island. I hope they can somehow recreate it, but we'll see about that. So guys, stay tuned, grab some snacks, grab some drinks, 5 minutes, and we'll be right back. Here at Back to Warcraft with Blizzard's Warcraft Invitational.